Hello Star Wars fans, welcome to middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figures. This guy. In this video I'm going to do a quick review of VC251, and that is Djarin Morak from The Mandalorian, of course, in his Juggernaut tank driver disguise. I recently reviewed this guy, his buddy Migs, but let's get on with it and we'll do some comparisons. Check it out. Okay, getting straight into this, here is Djarin Morak in his card. Now I have to say, I'm not a massive fan of that card image, to be honest. It's a little bit boring, and I know that he kept his helmet on for most of the episode, so they probably don't have a lot of different film outs for this character. But I would have been happy if there was an action shot of him fighting on the top of the Juggernaut tank. Actually would have been my preference than this boring ass photo. But if you have a look at the figure, that face sculpt is pretty amazing, and the detail. So he's basically the same figure as this Migs Mayfield that I've got and I've previously reviewed. I have only got the red arm ones. This is an import because I wasn't sure, because it was a Target exclusive, whether we'd get them in New Zealand, but we ended up getting them. We can see there that that's a overseas kind of one. Paid too much for that, so I'm going to keep that one in this card. This one, I'm not a big fan of the card, so I'm probably just going to rip him right open. And there he is out of the packet, and as you can see, that's a really cool head sculpt of Pedro Pascal, and in that scene he did have a little bit of a dodgy moustache, so they've captured that well. And there are the two Pedro Pascal head sculpts side by side. That head sculpt is actually from the Mandalorian Deluxe pack, but I've put him on a standard Beskar Mandalorian just cause I had the battle damaged one in a different scene, and you can see that the new one is a much better looking likeness of Pedro Pascal, although, you know, if this was on the battle damaged one, he did have his face smashed in a bit, so looks a bit puffy, like he's had his nose punched in, which that looks a lot more like Pedro. Okay, and there he is with a helmeted Migs on the left and the unhelmeted Migs on the right. And you can see there, I've only got the red armband version of Migs Mayfield. Those are the ones that seem to be popping up in New Zealand. I've heard that the green armband ones are common in the US and the red armband ones are common in the UK. So there you go. So it's basically the same figure with a different head sculpt. So there's not too much to say. Comes with the same little pistol, the SE19R I think it is, version of that. Slots nicely into his holster, you can see. Well, Migs has got his in his holster there and it is fine. The armour looks really cool. The colour of the armour is fantastic. I like this design a lot, and if you check out my Migs Mayfield review, I'll show you, a comparison with like the Shore Trooper and the Mud Trooper and all the rest of those, but the colouring of this is cool. The weathering on their armour looks pretty much the same, but they're really cool figures, and they're a bit of a 2-for-1 figure actually, because you can display them like this with their helmets off, or you can just get them, keep their helmets on, and then they become sort of army builders. So really nice figure to have. I think they've done a great job with this one. As I said, my only sort of complaint is this card back is not the greatest, but other than that, it's a really cool figure. If you see it, I recommend you pick it up. It's cool to have, and I'm going to try and pick up a few of the Migs or the Djarin to have a little bit of army building of the tank drivers. But anyway, that is me. I've rambled on enough. I'm middle-aged Kiwi man collecting Star Wars figures. Thank you so much for watching. Ka kite, and I'll see you on the next video.